In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Good evening, friends, and welcome to the 17th episode of Crime and Punishment, a legal podcast, not one that is political. This is the official podcast of the Invictus Law Firm, PA, a criminal defense law firm in Orlando, Florida, the website for which can be found at augustusinvictus.com. I'm here with my trusty co-host, Tiger Jin. We are broadcasting, simulcasting, as a matter of fact, in this new day and age, to Twitch, DLive, Periscope, and YouTube. Some of you might have gotten the newsletter today. For those of you who didn't, we're going to post it in the chat so that you can sign up to receive the next one. Tiger and I have got a bunch of good stuff to talk at you about tonight, including FBI retaliation against someone who made a political stand. We're going to talk about robotic cops if we have time. We're going to talk about trial by combat, of course. So we've got a few things going on. Tiger, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, but as I said, I might be keeping up a bit more often with
Well, as Kamala Harris said, our first female vice president, it is a long weekend and you should enjoy it. Well, apparently there's no real reason for it at all. It's just a long weekend, according to the vice president. I might have been some reason back in ancient history when America was America. But let's talk about ancient history. Well, no, I want to do trial by combat last because it is the most intense thing we've got to talk about. So we kind of have to tease the audience, make them wait till the end to see all this stuff about trial by combat. So what are we starting with? What was the first thing we had today? Oh, political prisoners. Of course. This is America, after all. Oh, you know what I wanted to show? I wanted to show the arrest. And then we've got so much good stuff to talk about tonight. I tell you what, let's go for that one article on the retaliation by the FBI. Let's play that one first. So there's this news station, a news website. I don't know if you all have heard of it. It's called National Justice. It's totally not political. It's just just reporting the news that no one else wants to report. So one of these things that they reported is about man who posted drag queen story hour. Man who protested Drag Queen Story Hour faces political retaliation from Antifa and the FBI. Now, we here at Crime and Punishment are attorneys. We take absolutely no political stance in this whatsoever. As we often say, we love this system as much as the next guy. We have no dog in this fight. So the fact that there happens to be political retaliation going on has nothing to do with us. We're just reading this because we're lawyers and this is a legal story. So this article begins by saying the U.S. government's war on political dissent has been covered extensively by mainstream media in regards to policy, but few tell the stories of those personally impacted by the Department of Justice's blatant disregard for basic civil liberties and due process. Now again, we don't make a political statement out of this. This is just a matter of fact. In fact, we read just a few weeks ago on this program a Washington Post article saying exactly the same thing when it was discovered that the FBI was illegally wiretapping people, as they've been doing for God knows how many decades now. But that is clearly a leftist newspaper. We take no side. But it's interesting that the Washington Post and National Justice are saying the exact same thing about the FBI and the Department of Justice. So we only comment on the fact that left and right both disagree that corruption is bad. The article continues, in one stark and ongoing example, a decorated Navy veteran, who comes from a family that has served their country in World War II and Vietnam, had his life turned upside down for engaging in lawful political activism. Details of this case have been provided to national justice in hopes of bringing attention to his family's plight. It all began in March 2020 when anarchists doxxed Joseph Berger of Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, in response to his participation in a community protest against the use of the local public library to host Drag Queen Story Hour. A 2019 poll featured on Lehigh Valley Live found that 71% of people said they opposed the event. Soon after being doxxed, and for those of you who don't know, when they say that this person was doxxed, it means that his political enemies posted all of his personal information online. Again, we take no stance in this. We're just telling the facts. Soon after being doxxed, that's right. That's my favorite retort. Yeah, the question is about discretion. So most Americans seem not to understand, and they're understanding now. After what has happened over the past several years, they're beginning to understand real hard. But a lot of people still don't understand that the law is not automatic. You don't have statutes that are put in place, laws that are put in place, and as soon as someone violates it, police are going to go snatch them up. That is just not how the law works around here. Police officers, federal law enforcement officers, prosecutors, they all have what is called discretion. They have discretion to prosecute. They have discretion to arrest. They have discretion not to arrest. They have discretion not to prosecute. It's just sometimes they abuse that discretion. Sometimes they say, well, I'm going to use my discretion not to do anything. I'm going to use my discretion not to do my job, or I'm going to use my discretion to prosecute someone I know to be innocent. Happens both ways. Both ways. Doesn't necessarily have to be political. Could be because the cop just doesn't like you. Or the prosecutor just doesn't like you. That happens. Now, really, they're supposed to recuse themselves from a situation if they have a personal stake in the matter, but we know that doesn't always happen. But Tiger's right. There are laws against this sort of thing. There are laws that prohibit doxing, whether it's cyber stalking or cyber harassment or whatever. There are laws that I am getting a top secret message about a situation. And yes, I will update you on how this, you're supposed to be updating me. I know you're listening to the program, but anyway, don't dox people. It is bad legally. Not making any political statements, it's just bad legally. Soon after being doxed, Berger began receiving threatening messages from Telegram accounts using terror wave aesthetics associated with the siege subculture that sent him photographs taken of him at a public venue and claimed to have his personal information. I'm not even going to begin to unpack that paragraph. Let's just say he was being harassed, okay? According to evidence reviewed by National Justice, the likely doxer was Paul Minton, a Philadelphia Antifa organizer who in 2001 was convicted of participating in a homicide but was able to take a no-jail plea bargain after serving as a cooperating witness. Then in May 2020, following this encounter, Berger's identity was stolen and cyber criminals attempted to open up fraudulent credit cards in his name. When this harassment, likely from anarchists, escalated to this point, he contacted the Bethlehem Police Department to investigate the crime. When Berger followed up with the detective on his case, an email exchange provided to National Justice, he was told that while they had a lead on who was trying to use his credit card information, COVID manpower shortages meant that they were having difficulties getting a warrant. But Berger believes there may be more to the story than meets the eye, after realizing he was being investigated by the FBI. It is possible that this may have been a trick to get him to hand over his bank account information without a warrant. This incident is the subject of a right-to-know request he has recently petitioned for. So, we don't know. We don't know. We're going to remain agnostic about this. Could be that there was more than meets the eye. Could be that COVID really did prevent the police from actually doing their job and getting the warrant. And I would believe that. I would believe that. Except for what's about to happen. When COVID came around, cops just stopped arresting people. They would ticket people. There were some major operations, and of course arrests still did happen, but a lot of police work was just not being done. And not just because the cops were scared of COVID, but because the jails were filling up. And we couldn't get rid of people. And I know that from firsthand experience. The jails were filling up because of COVID. Everybody was terrified of a breakout of COVID because back then you thought COVID was dangerous. And so everybody wanted the jails emptied. No one wanted the jails filled back up. Really threw law enforcement for a loop. Cops were affected like anybody else. So it could be that COVID affected them getting a warrant, or it could be that the FBI was telling the cops, no, don't do anything for this guy because we're actually prosecuting him, not the people who are committing crimes against him. That could also be possible. Again, we're being agnostic on this, but we have seen that, haven't we? Where law enforcement will decide that this person is outlawed. This person does not get to raise defenses. This person does not get to use the legal system. He doesn't get to utilize the police force. He doesn't get to make claims of criminal conduct against other people. He doesn't get to be a victim. Because he's the guy we're after. We've seen that countless times. So while we are remaining agnostic about this because we don't know the facts, I could see it both ways. Now, we're going to talk about what happened next. The subsection is DHS and FBI raid his home, so that's kind of a spoiler alert, right? But as things quieted down, 2 FBI agents showed up at his door the following October. The burglars did not answer, but their doorbell camera caught 2 agents slinking around on their front porch. After this encounter in January, a full-blown Department of Homeland Security and FBI joint operation raided the home. Video of this last raid was provided to National Justice, and while we didn't exactly ask permission to play this, we're going to play it anyway. So this is the video of the raid, and the reason we are playing this is so that you will understand what a raid looks like. A lot of people are caught unawares, as these people were. Because it's not always, and I've seen both types of raids, right? I've seen the raids where they sneak in. Actually, what was that show called? Was it Manhunt? Tiger, have you ever seen that show? The 8-part miniseries on the Ted Kaczynski case? I think it was the Discovery Channel. Oh, man. Oh, you have to watch that. Just like The People versus O.J. Simpson. Both of those are something that every lawyer needs to watch. And I know it's TV, but trust me, it's excellent. And it's of professional interest to you and all other people in this profession. But that's one of those raids that happen like you're about to see right now. It's not always that they, roll up with the SWAT team and break down the door. That's not always how it goes. Sometimes it goes like this.
Got a Ring doorbell. I'm not going to let the door close, so no matter what. So, hopefully.
You know how to flip the door.
Radio that's playing or anything? Is that your radio that's... Hey, how you doing, miss?
Hi. I was out back. What's
Everybody
up?
okay? We got a 911 call from you.
Here?
Yeah, can I come in and make sure everybody's okay?
What do you
Hi,
mean?
Dolores. We have a search warrant. We have a search warrant. We have a federal search warrant. Where's your husband at? Where's your husband? Where's your husband at? Where's your husband at? Where's your husband at? Okay, okay.
What are you
Listen,
doing?
I'll explain to you in a minute, okay?
What the hell?
Coming in.
Wait a minute. No, I don't have anything on me. My dog's out the back. Wait a minute.
Have a search
What
warrant.
the? Let me see the warrant.
Search warrant.
No, what's on me? I have family dying. Will you please let me answer the phone? What's going on? There's like 20 cops in here, Joe. What the fuck?
Dolores.
I'm 66 years old.
understand that, but
I have a bad back. Will you let go of me?
I will let go. As soon as you search your pockets, I will let go of you. Okay?
Search my pocket.
Good over there?
Don't knock me over, okay? No, I don't want to sit on that. I'm going to sit on the recliner.
Okay, now I'm gonna search the recliner.
You're good.
There's no weapons in there. I don't know you.
No, what?
I don't know you, Dolores.
I don't know what the hell you're doing here.
We're about to explain it to you. You're gonna get the paperwork in a second, okay?
My God, what the fuck is this? Is this
It's
America?
It's a federal search warrant.
For what?
We'll explain it to you in a second.
Well, I've been waiting 5 seconds. I'd like to know what's going on.
As soon as you stop with that, we'll talk to you.
I have been not yelling till now. I've had 5 minutes of this shit and I'm tired of it. I want to sit down.
Sit down.
God.
You check this couch. You want to search her? No, we didn't. I didn't
All right.
They search you, Joe? No. You
He's
okay?
got underwear on. For God's sake.
Mr. Berger, is there a way to turn on that light?
So that's how it happens. Tiger, we've been told in the comments that you're not showing up again. I don't know how this keeps happening. Yeah, exactly. You're try talking again. Let's see where your audio's at. No, it looks like it's coming through the same place as mine, so I'm not sure what's going on. We'll try to troubleshoot as we go forward. So Utah Strong is asking what's going on. So El Dragon just posted the name of the article we are reading. And it's about an FBI raid that happened in retaliation for a man protesting Drag Queen Story Hour. That's an oversimplification, a bit of an oversimplification, but that's basically what is going on. Certain people didn't like that he protested the Drag Queen Story Hour, and they doxed him, and they stole his identity, and a bunch of other stuff happened, and then they raided his house. He was trying to file police reports, trying to get these people prosecuted who had stolen his identity and were doing all this stuff to him, and quite the contrary happened. And what happened was that raid that was just played. The article continues, in the footage, local police fooled Berger's mother into believing someone had called 911 and there was an emergency. When she opened the door, police and federal agents stormed through the door and strong-armed the elderly woman. The agents in question then covered up the Ring camera using one of their masks. So we've got that part of the video as well. So I'm going to play that, and hopefully we'll have Tiger's audio fixed by the time we get back. All right.
Hey, guys.
I think somebody, in the interest of fair play for everybody, should go on the internet, and where those products are advertised, they should put down there, they are not legal in whatever.
Get a cup of coffee.
Countries or whatever. Just like when you order, you go on the internet and you look for firearms or whatever, and it says not legal in this state or that state or something like that. Well, then those should have been advertised as not legal. Hey, sit down. I know she has a bad back and a few other things, but
Sometimes I have to walk, sometimes I have to sit, sometimes I'm like, this is stressful. We'll let you go back.
That was the rest of it. They figured out they were being recorded. Now, they are saying that Tiger is still far away. The audio is still far away. From Antifa and the FBI. Let's see. Yes, thank you, OBS. All right, there is your link, Utah Strong, to the article we are reading. So, that was the video of the raid. And then the article continues, the raid was so theatrically over the top that it even made the news on the morning call, which video we are not going to play. According to Berger, the search warrant was over solvent traps, a perfectly legal tool to catch oil from firearms when they are being cleaned. The ATF has publicly suggested that solvent traps are legal as long as users do not alter them. But in the last year, the FBI and DHS have been capitalizing on this legal gray area to punish people for political reasons. The January search warrant was not only authorized to look for solvent traps, but also white supremacist literature, meaning that the gun technicality was nothing more than an excuse. During the raid, federal agents seized a playing card game that features images of Nazi soldiers on them, all of the firearms in the home, and a computer. The U.S. attorney overseeing this entire debacle has not charged Berger or his family for the solvent traps, but is also refusing to talk to their legal counsel. Now, when was this article published? May 25th, so this was 6 days ago. So it could be that in the past 6 days, the Department of Justice has contacted Berger's legal counsel. Who knows? I'm not on this case, I don't know. We are just reading the news. We have nothing to do with this. But it is interesting that you would make a warrant for solvent traps, which are legal, by the way. And in your search warrant, you're not looking for solvent traps alone that could or could not be legal. You're looking for quote-unquote white supremacist literature. Isn't that amazing? To quote Jim Rohn, isn't that something? White supremacist literature is in the search warrant. The FBI continues to pester Berger and his acquaintances. In one recent incident, agents questioned a relative on what Berger's personal views on gay and transgender issues are, clearly showing that the government's interest is primarily political. Agents have also visited Berger at his work. The goal appears to be to create pressure on Berger until he agrees to an interview with the fishing feds, which he does not have an obligation to do. Now, you might think national justice is politically motivated. Maybe they're twisting the facts to suit what they want to say about the FBI. But we've seen this happen time and time and time again. FBI wants to talk to somebody. It's a politically motivated prosecution. Everybody knows it. FBI wants to talk to this person. Lawyer says, no, don't do that. That's the smart move. Don't talk to the FBI, especially if it's politically motivated, because there's nothing you can say that's going to help you. FBI says, all right, you don't want to talk to us. That's fine. We'll talk to your mom. We'll go to your mom's place of work. We'll talk to her. Then we'll see how you don't want to talk to us. Some people, against advice of counsel, will then call the FBI saying, what the hell are you doing going to my mom's office? That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to react emotionally so that you will speak to them against the advice of your lawyer. They want you to throw out your own right to counsel and say, no, I don't need the lawyer. I'm going to talk to you because you went to my mom's office, you sick son of a gun. That's what they want you to do. They go to everybody around you. If they can't get you, they go for what you love. They go for the people closest to you. And sometimes it's not even to turn them against you. Sometimes it's not, as we've seen in several cases on this program already, it's not to turn your wife against you or to threaten your wife or your pregnant girlfriend with prosecution if you don't take their plea. Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just to get under your skin so that you will make a mistake, talk to them during their politically motivated prosecution, and say something against your interest or something that isn't against your interest, but that they will twist into something that is against your interest. The article continues, the whole experience has racked up enormous legal fees for the working class Berger family who are currently battling in court to get their property back and preparing retainers for whatever tricks may be up the prosecutor's sleeve. If you are interested in supporting them in their legal fight, send money to their Bitcoin address here, and it lists that address. I've listed the link to the article in the chat so you can go to the article yourself and donate to this man's legal defense fund, which maybe you should. Maybe you should, because the Department of Justice is clearly out of control. It's not a political statement. It's a legal statement. As a lawyer, Department of Justice is out of control and has been since I became a lawyer. The police in general are out of control in this country. As anyone on the far right or the far left or Black Lives Matter or anyone else will tell you who's paying attention. Everybody agrees on that one thing. The cops are out of control in this country. I think we can all agree on that. All hold hands across America and agree the cops are out of control in this country. Anyway, not a political statement, simply legal. Tiger, you got any juice in that mic? All right, that sounds good. So, what I do is I pull up YouTube inside of while we're broadcasting, right? I pull up YouTube as a separate window just in case something goes wrong with OBS or Restream or any other program. Yeah, technical difficulties happen. They've happened several times just in this show. So I keep up YouTube so I can see the chat just in case. I pause it so that it doesn't play while we're talking. So that might be a life hack for you. Can anybody let us know if you still can't hear Tiger? I can hear him loud and clear now. But let's continue. What else have we got? We've got that. We've got the lady. We've got half an hour before we should get to trial by combat. So I tell you what, let's play another video. Talking about how cops are out of control. Now, I take no position one way or the other about the mask thing. I don't care. Whatever. I have friends who feel very, very, very strongly about it, that if you wear a mask, you are basically not a man. You you have abdicated your right to manhood if you are conforming by wearing a mask. I have friends on that extreme. I guess I don't have many friends on the other extreme, but I do know some, you know, let's say I've been exposed to people who are on the other extreme, and I'm sure they have their reasons too. Oh, I definitely ran into a woman who was complaining about it. Yeah, so yeah, sure, I've been exposed to those people. So I don't take a side either way. I don't care about it. I've got way bigger problems than wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. But whichever way you cut it, you know, if you're going to arrest someone for wearing a mask, hey, again, I have no stake in it. If I were a bystander, I probably wouldn't, you know, start a fight with the cop. Probably give the lady my business card. But not my fight. You know, not my hill to die on. However, if you're going to arrest a woman for not wearing a mask, you could just have the common courtesy to not be an insufferable douchebag. Right? Negative tiger. So I guess they can't... No tiger. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know, because you are coming in through my audio input. We're gonna have to bring in some outside help. I know guy. So first, let's watch this video here. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying police are out of control. Like, this is how police treat people on a daily basis. Everybody years ago that was on the right wing used to say, well, when it hits the fan, you know, they're going to take off their bat. And I've had cops tell me this too. Cops who, you know, knew obviously who I was. You know, we'd be in court. I remember one trial specifically. I was in trial, and the bailiff was, you know, knew who I was, knew my politics and everything, and he was telling me, you know, when it hits the fan, I'm taking off this badge and I'm going home. And that's what everybody perceives the stance to be, is that, well, we're only doing this for a paycheck now because, you know, there's, you know, a paycheck coming in, we've got benefits, and, you know, I don't want anything to do with this unconstitutional stuff, though. You know, those guys at the sheriff's office, they're your friends. I don't think they're coming for your guns, my man. And even if they were, I don't think you'd be shooting at your friends, would you? So we have this perception that cops are right-wing, and that when things get serious, all of a sudden they're going to grow a conscience. All of a sudden they're going to say, wait a minute, I don't want to do this unconstitutional stuff anymore. Now it matters. I think that's clearly wrong. And you can see it in the little things. This video we're about to play, it's one of those little things. This is not... You know, I can't think of an analogy off the top of my head here, but this is not some grand epic, oh my God, would you look at that, this is going to cause riots sort of thing. This is one of the little things. This is when you see cops acting in their natural environment. It's his body cam. He's not being filmed by some bystander. He thinks that he's doing the right thing. He thinks that this is professional conduct. He thinks that this is how you treat an American citizen. This is how cops really are. You can see it in the little things. So let's watch this video.
Hello. Oh, that one?
Yeah, that's her to leave.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll say if they ask you to leave, you have to leave.
My money's in this bank, and I'm going to take it out.
Well, then you have to
And
abide by the
after I
rules,
do that,
and you have to
the
have a mask
rules
on.
This is a state.
It's not. Businesses have the right to refuse service, even if you're not wearing a mask. That's their
That's
choice.
why I'm taking my money out.
Awesome. Well, you need to go and get a mask and then take your money out. You're not allowed to do.
I've been waiting here
Ma'am,
for about 10
listen,
minutes.
we're going to do this the easy way or the hard way.
What are you going to do, arrest me?
Yes, for intruding on premises.
That's hilarious.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and you believe in this.
I believe in it.
Do you believe in this?
The laws, yes.
The law says that I do not have to wear a mask.
You can not in public,
My
but you're not in
rights.
public. You're not in
My-
public.
Yes.
I'm not going to argue with you about this. This is not a public place.
I'm
This is a
next in
private
line.
business.
I'm gonna do
No,
my
you're not.
business.
We're going to go outside.
Are you serious?
Do I look like I'm kidding?
Well, I don't know because
Let's walk. Go walk
obviously
outside.
you've got some issues
I've got issues.
that you're taking away
Okay.
people's human rights.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's go
now
outside.
he's, is
Let's
he
go
going to
outside.
shoot me, people? Is
No.
he going to shoot me for trying not to breathe?
Cool.
Come
Cool.
on, dude.
Don't do that. Oh no.
Do not touch me. Who do you think you are?
2010, one
Oh,
resisting.
back up. Some old lady is getting handcuffed here. Here, people. Ow!
Ma'am,
Are
put your
you-
hands behind your back. Say it. You don't stop resisting. Stop.
Is anybody gonna, like, get real here? Really?
Relax.
No one's gonna get real? Wow.
Come on.
Oh, are you gonna smash my head to the ground now? Now you're smashing my arm into my private area?
Your private area.
Yeah.
Put your hands behind your back.
My hand is behind my back, sir.
This one. Turn over on your stomach. Put your hand behind your back. Relax.
I'm totally relaxed. You're the one.
No, you are not relaxed. Sit all.
Right here, people. Wow, what a bunch of sheep. Okay, I hope someone's filming this. You're hurting me.
Oh, I'm filming it.
This is like cut.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
like cutting.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand yourself up.
And how do you suggest, sir? I am like a 65-year-old woman here.
Okay.
What
Sit
are
up.
you doing?
Stand up.
Ayúdame, por favor.
Stand up.
Ayúdame, por favor.
Are you trying to speak Spanish to people?
I do speak Spanish.
Okay, well stand up.
Are you happy now, lady?
Okay.
I'm not happy. You
Okay, stand up.
refuse to listen.
Stand up.
I refuse to listen to the...
Come on.
You know what? I think
She's
you
getting
broke
your
my
stuff.
foot.
Come on.
I think you broke my freaking foot.
Okay, I'll call.
And that's my business over there.
Yeah, she's gonna pick it up. Come on. We're going outside. One in custody.
Wow. Not wearing a mask, people. This is what they do to you.
Slow everybody down.
Okay, I've got my dog in my truck.
I got you. I'm 10-4. Send EMS for a 60-year-old white female. She's complaining of foot pain.
Yeah. You
Take a
broke
seat.
my damn foot.
Take a seat.
49, we're out with him.
Okay.
Take a seat.
Where's your mask? Where's your
I'm 6
mask?
feet away from you.
Oh, well, I was 6 feet away from those people
All
in
right,
there, too.
in there. Get inside.
Come on, you guys.
Get
Let's
inside.
get real.
1914, we're out. We'll be back in.
And that is that. So you might have noticed on the side of the car that that was Galveston, Texas. That was Texas, this land of freedom, this place where everybody wants to go because at least Texas is still America. That's America right there, all right. B is saying that law enforcement is doing what they are told to do. I don't know about that. First of all, a bank cannot order cops to do anything. The cop came in there and, yeah, he escorted her out. He definitely took her out. It was a private business, and he was doing his job in that respect, I suppose. But the confrontational attitude, the condescending attitude, no one told him to do that. That is all him and every other cop in this country. So I am afraid that without Tiger's input, we're not going to be able to talk about trial by combat tonight. Tiger, are you muted on your end? There he is. All right. Yeah, I thought I saw you muted on there, and I thought that that was my setting. I didn't know if that was something that could be changed on my end. All right. We might have to forego the trial by combat thing, unless y'all just heard Tiger. Please do let me know if you just heard him. But if you did not just hear him, all of these delicious articles on trial by combat we were planning to do tonight, we're going to have to wait till next week, because that's what we were going with. Let's see, what other articles do we have that we can talk about that are not... oh, did we play that video already? About political prisoners? I don't think we played the video about political prisoners, did we? I suppose we could play that one. We've also got the article about Barnes that we could talk about. We've got, what's this? I can't talk about that. I don't know about that. That was Tiger's article. Let's see what we got here. Nope. Nope, can't hear Tiger. Should be trespass first. I don't know. First of all, that's Texas, so they've got their own laws. I don't know what the procedure is, but generally speaking, I mean, you just be walked out. Now, as for her being arrested without being trespassed first, okay, so he is still far away, so you can hear him at least. I guess that's a start. That's a step in the right direction. The thing is, if he arrested her, I don't know what happened after that video. I don't know if they took her downtown. I don't know if she had charges after that, but I'll tell you, if it's beyond detaining her for quote-unquote officer safety, because that's what they always use. Everything is officer safety. They violated your rights, it's because officer safety. Officer safety is the primary concern for every officer in this country. So very well could be they put her in the back of the car for officer safety. They handcuffed her for officer safety. And then once she calmed down, maybe they let her go and said with a stiff warning, don't do that again, and we'll arrest you next time. That could be. Or if he did arrest her, it could have been for resisting. I had a case once where it was resisting, and that was it. It was resisting arrest. That was his charge, resisting arrest. It makes you wonder, you could say somebody's resisting arrest for a crime that was never even a crime. There was no crime, and there was no arrest, but you can still resist arrest. So maybe that's what it was. She was resisting arrest because he was trying to escort her out. Not that there was an arrest coming, but now there is because she resisted it. She resisted this non-existent arrest. It's happened before. You're not hearing Tiger now because Tiger is not talking. So that's what's going on. Can you go over the Supreme Court case that unanimously overturned warrantless gun confiscation? No, I can't because I don't have the site. I tell you what, if you post the link in here, we'll do it live, in the words of Bill O'Reilly. But at the moment, I don't have that case in front of me, so that would be a no for now, Freedom Falcon, unless you can give it to me. Barnes seems like he has a great intellect, but stuck on blindly supporting Zionism. We take no position. But I will say, Barnes does seem to be an incredibly capable lawyer. He was the one who represented the Covington kids in that whole fiasco. He is now Alex Jones' lawyer, last I checked. He is filing lawsuits. Apparently, I haven't seen the lawsuits, but he says he's filing lawsuits on COVID regulations all across the country. I think one of them is in Florida, as a matter of fact. So he seems to be doing God's work. I don't know. But he seems to be an incredibly capable lawyer. Tiger is back. The thing is, Tiger, they're saying you are far away, and with you being far away and us having so much to say about trial by combat, I don't want to risk it, you know? I don't want to risk not having your commentary coming out loud and clear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody buy those t-shirts and hats. Yeah. Well, in the meantime, did we play that video on political prisoners yet? Yeah, I did. Okay, I didn't think so. All right. We're going to play that. It's short. It's commentary. It's not ours. Again, I didn't ask for permission to play this, but we're playing it because it's relevant to legal stuff. Here you go.
It seems that no one has the balls to talk about what is happening to Joe Biden's political prisoners. The people arrested for protesting January 6 are being subjected to inhumane conditions, physical abuse and psychological torture. And the excuse that the left will give you is, oh, it was a coup, it was a violent insurrection, it was terrorism. But in reality, the protesters on January 6 killed no one, despite how much the media wishes to lie about it. The protest caused minimal public damage and no private damage. When the protest was told to disperse at 6:30, they did. Because of January 6, about 400 people were charged for protesting. The majority of these 400 people were charged with misdemeanor trespassing and misdemeanor obstruction of a government proceeding. These people have only been charged, not faced trial yet, have been for months denied bail because their political opinions are too dangerous to let them loose, even though vast numbers of them have never been put in jail before. They set up a special little facility for them in D.C. Upon arriving in jail, you are kept in 2 weeks quarantine due to coronavirus in solitary confinement. After the 2 weeks, they are put in 23-hour-a-day solitary confinement. Because the facility was previously not in use, the cells are full of black mold, the sinks too, the water they drink. During their 1 hour of free time a day, they are expected to shower, though there is nothing to cut their hair with or shave their beards. They are denied the right to practice their religion or religious services. They can't even talk to their lawyers. It takes 2 weeks to schedule, and when you do get a Zoom call with your lawyer, there's a guard sitting in the room with you. The guards, of course, who were extremely violent against the jailed protesters. According to one of the prisoners, they came into one of the protesters' cells in the middle of the night. They handcuffed him and beat him in his bed senseless. Allegedly, when another guy was having a mental breakdown, they came into his room and pepper sprayed him. And if you complain about the physical abuse of the DRC, they will punish you for it. This is what it looks like when the state is coming down as hard as they can on you. This is what it's like to live under a tyrannical state. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter, who claims to be against the state, against the system, against the man, they have for months burnt down cities, caused billions of dollars of damage. Their protests have claimed lives, they've killed police. Them and Antifa have set up autonomous zones and said that they are no longer part of the United States. And what happened to them? Mayors and governors ordered the police to stand down, to kneel to them. If they ever got put in jail, they made bail the second they got in. Their bail paid for by House representatives and senators like Kamala Harris. Tyranny isn't a threat that's coming, it's here.
So, something about being put in isolation, being starved, being crucified in the media. As he pointed out, most of these are misdemeanor charges, right? For what? Destruction of property or ridiculous stuff. There's... Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, they put out, and they started putting out billboards everywhere. If you have information about this crime, I don't know why I'm even saying this, everybody in the audience must have seen the billboards, must have seen the FBI advertising all over the country. If you have any information about what happened on January 6th, call this number. It was crazy. Like it was 9/11 all over again. And they were just doing a dragnet across the whole country. And yeah, willfully taking information from Antifa, people with a political axe to grind. They didn't care where it came from as long as they got the people for these misdemeanor charges. And now they're holding them in separate detention centers, putting them in isolation, the whole 9 yards. But we don't have political prisoners in America. God forbid. God forbid. Guantanamo Bay 2.0. Yeah, except it's on American soil now, buddy. Right at the nation's capital. That's wild to think about, ain't it? Because if you grew up in the Cold War, a lot of y'all are Zoomers out there, but if you grew up in the Cold War and you heard all the stories about what was going on in the Soviet Union and how that could never happen in America, it is literally happening right before your eyes. Unfortunately, until we fix Tiger's audio, we're not going to be able to get into anything substantial on trial by combat. That's what we were doing the whole show on was trial by combat. But let's play one more video because it's going to be a short night tonight. We're going to play one more video. Tiger, you might want to watch the YouTube on this because I don't know if I sent this one to you. I've titled this one RoboCop because a while ago I wanted to play something. There's a private company that is selling to police stations these automated robots for police work. A terrifying concept, right? There are videos of they've built these ones to look like dogs. They look like they came out of Boston Dynamics. They are on 4 legs. They are intended to look friendly. They're intended to familiarize you with these things, to normalize them so that robots aren't that scary. Here's one that's a little different. It's like some Jetsons style stuff. And it's just to put a robot between the police officer and you, so there's no violent interaction. They're just taking out the human interaction so that there's no violent confrontation. And that might sound reasonable, but what's the worst that could go wrong, right? Let's check out what this is about.
Traffic stops are dangerous. Every year, millions of drivers are pulled over. Thousands of motorists and officers are hurt. 100 of them die. Our robot goes between people to keep everyone safe.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Do you know why I pulled you over?
No, sir.
You were speeding in the school zone. Can I please see your license and registration?
Yes, sir.
On the back of your license, there's a barcode. Please hold that up to the small blinking scanner. Miss Brewer, thank you. Please hold your registration up to the main camera close. All right, up to date, thank you. There's a small signature pad. Please use your finger to sign your name. Thank you. Your citation is being generated and will print shortly. When it's all done, you can pull it and take it with you. I will start withdrawing the arm. Please do not drive away until I give you an explicit okay to do so. All right, Miss Brewer, you have a good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. You too.
You are free to go.
And everybody lives happily ever after. How nifty, right? Look how smooth that traffic stop went. What could go wrong? It reminds me of just several years ago. Well, it really wasn't that long ago. When police start... This is not real. No, I don't think this is real yet. I think this is an advertisement, Eric. I think this is an advertisement so that cops start buying these things, or not cops, but police stations start buying these things, right? So this is an ad saying, look at all the, the problems that we could solve with this. How many police officers are attacked in routine traffic stops? How many people are shot? 89. There's an actual number on that. 89 people per year are shot because of these routine traffic stops. Wouldn't it be great if we had someone in between, just a robot that the police control. Nothing could go wrong, right? No way a police officer could, abuse that kind of power, abuse having a robot that cannot be attacked, right? What I was going to say is it reminds me of just several years ago when this body cam thing started becoming the fashion. And everybody that was into civil liberties and, the libertarians, they were saying, well, no, this is terrible. I don't want to be recorded. I don't want the cops just being able to record me everywhere they go. I don't want my, likeness to be stored in, this wherever these things are going to be held. Like, this is government intrusion on private affairs. I don't want everything filmed. And it was very quickly turned right the heck around. Everybody wants body cams. It started being, well, this is actually the best thing for civil liberties because it keeps the cops honest. We have to have body cameras on every police officer everywhere. And now we've got to have body cams on every corrections officer everywhere. Everybody's got to have body cameras all the time. It's an interesting switcheroo on civil liberties where nobody wanted to be filmed and now everybody wants to be filmed to keep the cops honest. And I gotta say, I'm as guilty of that switcheroo as anybody. Because I don't trust cops as far as I can throw them. I want everything recorded because it does keep them honest. And when you can see them turn off a body cam in a hotly contested case, and you gotta ask, why did you turn that body cam off? It starts to look real bad for them. Body cams have, in the past several years, shown cops screwing up so badly that if somebody told those stories without body cams backing them up, you would think they were insane. You would call them liars. And for years and years and years, cops did call everybody liars, and now there's camera footage everywhere, including the video we saw earlier tonight, where it's shown that cops are just like everybody else. We imagine that they hold themselves to a higher standard. It's clearly not true. So thank God for body cams. But that's what this reminded me of, is how everybody was like, oh, this is a terrible idea, and then, oh, this is a great idea. However, body cams keeping cops honest is a completely different story from letting robots loose on American citizens. Putting police officers in charge of robots that are, if they're not indestructible, certainly impervious to any consequences. The only thing that would happen to a person would be that they'd, have another charge against them by destruction of government property. But when it comes to the damage done to the police robot, what's to keep a police officer from using those things in an indiscriminate fashion? Now, there are some of these ads that go to police stations and they say, well, this is purely defensive. There are no offensive capabilities on this robot. Yeah, maybe on this particular traffic stop robot. But how many other robots are there that do have offensive capabilities? Countless. We have drones, for instance. Drones are operated by people. Look at the damage they can do with a simple drone. You can blow up an entire hospital, an entire school with a drone, and we often do, which is why so many people hate us. When police have access to drones, not just the US military, but the police here in the United States, how is that going to go? What are the civil rights issues then? When the government can use a drone and order a drone attack on American soil. It's not that far a cry from we've got robots to kick in the door. We've got cute little dog-looking robots who can go up and knock on a door. We've got cute little Jetsons-looking robots that can roll up and disarm a bomb or shoot somebody who is nested somewhere, a sniper. They use robots for that now. What's the next step from having some Iron Man kick in the door for a hostile situation? And you know, some of these, especially with the cute looking dog robots, they say, well, these are for hostage negotiations. We've got to let those guys go in there so they can see what's going on, and you know, so on and so forth. Well, all fine and well for the cops, right, who are the negotiators. How does that help anyone in the room, any of the hostages? Because it's a non-offensive, cute-looking dog robot that's going in there checking it out. That's what negotiators are for, is to be non-threatening and to go in and figure this stuff out. It's a dangerous job. If you don't want a dangerous job, don't take it. But this nonsense about how we're going to have robots go in and fix all these problems so that it's safe for officers, because officer safety is the number one concern of police in America. It's hogwash. Absolute hogwash. Police robot will be considered a legal person. Yeah, 100%. It'll be like Half-Baked, where he killed the horse on accident, a police horse, and he was known as Cop Killer from that point forward. Yeah. Why not? Why not consider a police robot a person? So, they'll send robots for another Waco. Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. Once they've familiarized you with these robots, once they've gotten enough cute-looking, dog robots to come in and play with kids, they'll do. I don't know if you've noticed, especially since last year, there has been this massive propaganda push for police stations everywhere. Cops are doing community service. They've been dancing to Drake videos and posting on their Instagram. Everybody wants cops to be hip and cool, and they're just part of the community. Like, this is all over the internet. It's all over everything, all over television. I had an Instagram post the other day. I was here in Orlando. Everybody loves cops. Everybody loves cops. Cops are just the greatest thing in Orlando. Cops getting invited to church services. Church posts their stuff on Instagram with the cops up, invited up there for their service. I mean, it's cop worship in Orlando, and this goes on all across the country. It's a PR stunt to make it look like cops are part of the community. Cops have our best interests in mind. Cops are totally non-threatening. They're just doing their job. Heroic jobs at that. And it's brilliant. It's a brilliant propaganda campaign. Anyway, we're going to have to call it a night, because without Tiger's audio, we're not going to be able to talk about trial by combat. So, we're going to end there, my friends, and we will see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, stay in school and don't do drugs. Good night, everyone.